Hi, Paul Hefty here with the Triangle O football system. Want to do a quick overview of our Four Verts series and all the variations, what I call a DC style, meaning we're going to incorporate some deep choice route read concepts so that we can use this as a foundation to build to a deep choice series. Let's take a look. Here's a quick overview of the Four Verts series and all the variations. You're not going to run all these, but again, it gives you an idea of what you could pick from each year. The foundation is classic Four Verts Giants here, all go, but we incorporate then the deep choice route reads on the outside, which we'll go through. Next is just adding 10 tags to that, then a classic backpack into our 3x1s then, where we do use the deep choice now. And then we finish up with some switch routes and a dagger concept. For protection, we have the ability to use classic 6-man half slide pro, but then we can change that up between the back or the H-back doing that. And then last we do a 5-man, what we call solo pro. So here's a look at it. Classic here on the upper left. The call side is in a man principle. And then the back side we slide away. So up in the upper left, we're calling this to the left, Lisa. We're going to be man if we're covered by the left tackle and the left guard. Back we'll double check inside out, Mike to the Sam. And the center, right guard, right tackle all slide back into a zone principle 3-on-3. Teaching is the key to this. We want to use our drill 25. Again, we've got 2 quarterbacks going with the 5 receivers. You can see on the diagram on the left and the right, you have QB1 who's got the first phase or the primary read of the 2 receivers down the seam, the H and the A then on the bender, and can check down to the Z with the speed go or tracer. At the same time, quarterback 2 on the left is going to go ahead and read that backside safety, the goat in the orange also, but then is quickly going to go to his reset read of the X on the speed go tracer to a check down to the back. While that's going on, the O-line then with the other backs works pass protection against the different fronts and blitzes you would see that week. All right, just quick overview. Classic foundation is our 4 verts. H is going to stay on the seam on the hash just outside of it. A has the bender read if the middle is closed as it is in the diagram. Then he's going to go right up the hash seam also. If it's open, whether it's 1 or 2 high, then after 4 steps he's going to bend inside. The Z and the X now do speed go takeoffs to 10 yards, and at 10 yards make their read. If they can touch the DB over them, on them, or they've already beat them, then they want to go ahead and run the speed go. If we cannot and they're deep, then we're going to go ahead and start our cha-cha-cha breakdown, and at 12 yards then run a tracer where they turn back inside but trace right down the stem, and if they haven't gotten the ball then they slide outside. Quarterback, 2-phase read is going to use his rocker mesh with the back, reading that middle safety here, the goat circled. We're looking for the A and the H down the seams. If we don't have that 100%, then we're going to go ahead and take a shuffle drop with our throwing foot, reset, and our eyes go then right to the X or the Z for the tracer or speed go. We can pre-snap determine which mismatch we want, or we can just kind of go where our eyes take us to that side. You can see that it's great to run out of what we call a spread stack set. Nothing changes, but we get natural rubs. The Z and the X are going to spray go now out to those numbers and still run their tracer read at 12 yards. A's and H go behind, run the seams quarterback, 2-phase rocker, reading the middle for the seams, and then shuffle drop going to the outside to the check down to the back. All right, first variation is just to go 5 go, something Ohio State did with a lot of success. 4 wide receivers still run their 4 verts with the tracer reads, but now the back free releases and we use solo 5-man pro, and he's going to go ahead and beat over top the Mike. Great versus a team that wants to keep the Mike in the run box. You've got quarterbacks, especially at the younger levels, struggle throwing to the Z and the X out on the sidelines. we can go ahead and run 10 tags where they're going to go to 10 yards and then go ahead and break underneath. So it's simple, just a 10 tag 2, same read progression. Quarterback's going to read that backside safety if there's too high, the goat in this case, looking for the seams down the middle. If he doesn't like it, then whichever side his eyes take him, he's going to go ahead and look for the 10 route underneath. We can do a 10-3 tag where we just added the H now with it too, still reading the goat, but now we're going to go inside out just as we've done. Next variation is something Joe Moorhead, who was the offensive coordinator at Penn State when they won the Big Ten championship. It's called a backpack concept. All we're going to do here is run a switch, but the A or the slot receiver will go first, running the fade go, and then the Z comes underneath, backpack, running the bender read. Read progression of the quarterback is exactly the same. We add the 10 route now to the backside with the X. When we go 3 by 1, this happens with everything in the series. The H now on the 3 receiver side will run an over route to the 1 receiver side. We call this the 3/1 rule. So he's going to go over the backers and over the formation, trying to get to that far hash as he would normally out of a 2 by 2 at about 20 to 22 yards. Read progression is exactly the same for the quarterback. Read in the middle safety for the 2 inside, now being the Z and the H, and then going outside on the reset with the A on the fade go or the 10 route. I love this out of 3 by 1 where we automatically incorporate now our deep choice route with our single receiver, the X receiver, on the back side. You can see we still got the H doing the 3/1 rule, A on the bender, Z runs the 10, so we're building off our foundation. The X now has the tracer or speed go, but we add a glance. If it's pre-snap cover 0, there is no safety in the middle. You can go ahead and take off and take that top off. Quarterback still going to read backside safety, but we're just going to blink at it real quick with our mesh rocker phase, and then quickly on the shuffle drop, go read the defender over the X, same as the receiver is. If he can touch him, we're speed going. If he's off, we're running the tracer at 12, and if there's cover 0 right at the pre-snap, then we know we got the glance in the middle. Add a simple exchange with the A and the H here. It's great versus man. A will go first now, running the 3/1 rule, the exchange, and the H runs the bender behind him. Quarterback still reads the goat for the inside 2, but then right to the deep choice if he doesn't have it. Get into switch routes here. This is a real simple way, again, against cover 2 man. All we're going to do is have now the outside receivers go first and run. The Z is running the bender and the X running the seam, with the A and the H going behind, now running this, what we call a kind of a spray go to a tracer read at 12 yards. Great out of the spread stack also. Again, we naturally just spray out and again switch the routes. 10 promise is great if you want to get the X receiver as the seam versus 1 high, and we only switch the H and the X then. So again, we're going to go ahead. X goes first. It's going to get up the seam. H wheels behind, but the A stays on the bender, and the Z with the 10 with the quarterback reading inside the A and the X now at the seams to the reset with the Z10 or the H on the wheel. You want to use the back on a mismatch on a linebacker. Great to go 3 by 1, and we simply have the H do the pass protection and check down, and the back now runs the wheel on the back side. So we get switch routes, but again, we're creating a mismatch, and the H becomes the check down. Last variations is a dagger concept where, again, we're going to have the A still run the bender and really think about clearing the zone. The Z now will go to 12 yards, and instead of running a tracer, runs a deep in coming underneath, and the H instead of the seam will run the drag underneath. What we get is a way to clear the safety with the A, and then we're looking for the deep in to the drag underneath, kind of a simple flood concept. Again, if you want to use your back and create that mismatch with the linebacker, we can free release him using Solo Pro, where he now runs the backside hash seam. Quarterback then would still read the middle for the two verticals. If not, then we're going to look for the deep in to the drag with the H back. Last, it's great to review these. Again, always starts with protection up front, but pick the concepts that work for you, starting with the foundation of just classic 4 verts, but DC style with the speed go and tracer read on the outside. And then we simply go through again one more time with our quarterbacks where they have their pre and post snap read progression. Thanks.